Welcome to round 9 action here at West Beach on Garnerland for the top of the ladder clash between the Sturt Falcons third hosting the West Torrens Eagles, who are currently first. Joining me on commentary today is the man himself, Mr. Lee Hull.
Good afternoon, Anthony, and good afternoon, everyone.
And the reason we're in whispered tones here is that young Neve Adams is just reading out a prepared statement, as today is Sturt's club's club day, and they are supporting mental health.
And also, it's Maddie Cameron's 500th game,
Yep.
and also they're playing for the Richard Coombe medal. The late Richard Coombe, fantastic bloke, fantastic coach.
Yes, absolutely. So Neve's message here is just a prepared statement that the Sturt Falcons have been reading at all of their games today before the game starts, and the charity that they are obviously trying to support is Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation, and so throughout the day we'll be having a bit of a chat with them. We hope to have a special guest in here shortly as well, so I've actually got a copy of that statement too, so we will try and read that statement out to you. And there's going to be a ceremonial first pitch, but before that, the Sturt Falcons are giving a wristband out to each of the Eagles.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a fantastic initiative, because years ago when we were growing up, Anthony, me earlier than you, of course, but we didn't know anything about mental health. You know, it was taboo. You couldn't, and fortunately it's out in the open.
Yep.
Speak about it, you know, just find somebody to talk to and
Yep.
and get yourself fixed,
Yeah,
because
and in a world where with all the social media and so on, and we feel more connected than we ever are, the reality is sometimes it can be any further from the truth. And
Yeah,
it's just
that's right.
so Shelley Neller, who's one of the people that this initiative was created by, Marianne Crawford as well. Shelley Neller, obviously anybody that knows softball, she's a softball legend of South Australia, also involved in the baseball heavily, and
she's warming up
she's warming up. Well,
to
that's good.
execute the first pitch now.
She might be staying out there, by the way, she's preparing.
I wonder
but-
whether somebody could come about halfway down.
Oh,
for the
look at
cut.
that.
Look at that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So,
I'm not sure whether she's still playing ladies baseball, but she was certainly up to last year.
yeah, no, great personality,
Yeah, she
and
is.
just a power hitter. Great teammate. Used to play first for the Falcons back in some of their premiership eras,
Heydays.
and yeah, you never wanted to pitch to her, and she was a great asset to their infield. Gave them a lot of confidence. So. That's a really great sign that she's come out for that today.
We need that spare chair for our guest.
Yes,
I think.
we will.
I'll get that. I'll
Oh,
get Anthony.
So that's a pretty cool start. Maddie Cameron's just been clapped onto the field by both teams, as today she celebrates game 500, which is an amazing achievement for an amazing player, just an all-round great person, but one of the best the state's produced. A great outfielder and just a dominant power hitter. So, Lee, we find ourselves game 3 of the series between Sturt and West Torrens.
Should be a cracker, Anthony.
Yeah.
Should be a cracker.
So they've so far. So Chantel Ladner's coming over from New South Wales, so she'll be pitching for the Falcons today. So last time it didn't go particularly well for her. Started okay, but then a lot of hits got given up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
And
West Torrens were on fire with the bat that day.
yeah, and they've continued to be. But I think the impressive things, like when you go back and you have a look at the two teams, you know, Sturt's currently third on the ladder. They've played 10, only won the 5, but they've had a couple of draws, and the draws that they've had, one was a rain-out affected game, and the other one itself was that game last week against Walkerville where it was 0-0.
What a great game it was too.
Yeah, but the impressive thing about the Falcons is that they're doing it without Belle White. So at the moment, Belle White's only played the 5 games. And yet they're continuing to still put up good runs. Their defence is still second in the league. Their offence is second in the league. So the Falcons still getting it done. This is only Ladner's third pitch here, and of that, Ruby Fidge has been doing the bulk of the work, and her ERA, under 3. That's a lot to like about that.
And we saw Jazz Laz.
She threw a really good game as well, and been doing some damage in the B grade as well. So, speaking of great people, why aren't you pitching this game? It's the legend of South Australian softball and the Sturt Falcons, and one of the initiators of the mental health round that's being supported by the Sturt Falcons today. Shelley Nella, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
We're hanging in there. So, unfortunately, you haven't got the talent today. No James, no Eric, so you've only got me and Lee. So, but we'll push through.
Oh, I reckon that.
I question that.
That put me in with the quality.
Oh, right.
You got that right.
Yeah, well.
1 point to you straight away, Shell.
So, how are you doing anyway?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well.
Yeah.
I'm about to go away for my next knee replacement.
Really?
I had one done about 5 months ago, and the other one coming in 9 days' time.
Is that because you're looking for a 23-24 pre-season spot at the Falcons? Is that?
Well, after that pitch, I think I've got half a chance.
Well, yes, we thought that was very, very good. So, and speaking of pitches, Chantal Ledner about to kick us off against the Eagles leadoff, Amber Hood. High in the zone for an early rise ball for a ball 1.
Yes, I did make mention earlier in the piece when Jordan come back to play, and it's great to see her back playing, that I would have kept Amber at lead-off because Amber was terrific lead-off, and wherever she bats, 1 or 2, she's going to give you the momentum because she gets on base so many times, scores from those turns on base too.
Well, Jordan's been more aggressive as an lead-off. She's more trying to set a tone for the Eagles, whereas Amber is somebody that seems to bat better the longer the count goes.
Look at that.
And she's kicked the Eagles off today with a single up the middle to 500-gamer Maddie Cameron, and the Eagles are away, and Jordan Harris comes to the plate. Amber Hood is at first. So in a second, we'll get a chance to quickly zip around the ground, Lee, if you can, in between batters maybe, and then we'll get Shelley to have a bit of a chat about why we're here today.
What a good bunt, Geordie.
And that one's fallen just in front of Straps. You could just see she was in 2 minds there just as soon as the ball came off, whether or not she was going to dive. You just see here on the CMAX replay. But then as she had to stop, the ball's actually spun back away from her. And now the Eagles in a dominant position with runners at 1 and 2, none out. Lana Kaisler comes to the plate. You know what I'd be doing here, Lee?
Double steal.
That wasn't it.
Well,
but that's what they're doing. Oh, got her too. And Amber Hood aggressively trying to steal third, and the tag comes over the top. And a great play. Is that Neve Adams at shortstop?
Dare I say, repeat of earlier message.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's
what I would have done, double steal.
So Neve obviously filling in for Belle White at shortstop today as she continues to recover from an ailment. Kaisler aggressively gets caught over the plate there and fouls it off down the right field line. So Eagles have a runner at 2. That is the fast Jordan Harris. 1 out. And Kaisler behind in the count. Under that one, out to right field. Shallow. Harris tags. She's going to make 3 on the tag. Nice play.
Gee, that was a good throw from Abby Kennedy, wasn't it?
And brave,
right on the button.
Yeah, brave fielding there by Jessie Keats too. Held her spot. Great work by her. And Harris makes it. So we're just here on the CMAX replay. You can see that Harris is tagged up. So Kennedy takes the ball. Bit deep. Throw comes in. And Keats holds her ground to her credit. At least Kaisler's advanced the runner. So now 2 out. Harris has moved over to third, and that brings clean-up hitter, the dangerous Sophie Hoyle, to the plate. That was the pitch on Wednesday night, Lee, that we saw Kistner use with great effect against Hoyle and Danny Backside. Just that inside pitch, rung her up both times as she went down looking. So it'll be interesting to see how Hoyle attacks the inside of the plate today. Oh, great field by Straps. Goes to ground, gets her body right behind it, and the sharp Falcons have retired the Eagles after some threatening base runners. So before we go around there, Shelley, talk to us about today.
Well, today's the mental health round that at Sturt we have instigated. It all came about by conversations, a lot of conversations actually, between Walkerville legend Marianne Crawford and myself. Marianne struggled with her own mental health issues through the years, and my wife has her mental health challenges. And we've spoken a lot about how the challenges we have as people with mental health issues and those supporting them, how to deal with it and work with it, and how it's got such a really bad stigma. And so we wanted to make sure that we could bring it out into society and let them know that, hey, it's just a normal thing. You know, like, it'd be nice to be able to talk about my knee replacement, you know, almost as easily as my wife's anxiety or depression, which comes from her complex PTSD, which was due to childhood trauma. So to be able to have those conversations would be fantastic, and that's what we're trying to get it, so it just becomes part of general conversation,
right.
And helps get rid of the stigma, so we can then move forward into working with people with mental health and getting through and getting through what they're going through.
So how, when you talk about what people can do in regards to, like, just putting a voice out just to go up and speak to somebody, like, are you okay, those types of things, what type of things, like, from a bystander, is there something that you can look for that you're seeing that maybe somebody's not doing too well, and is it okay to approach them in that regard? And if you do, how would you do that?
Well, there's lots of different ways, obviously, and I don't think we have a perfect roadmap yet. It's only something that's been talked about in the last, really properly in the last few years. So we're growing within it. This year, all our money we're throwing out is to Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation, because they're all about finding solutions to the mental health, whether it's, you know, in our DNA or whatever, or those sorts of things.
Absolutely. So today, we'll get back to that in just a second. Harper Bridley leading off the pitching to Amber Hood, as the Sturt lead-off Sarah Tonkin, who having a great season in the absence of a Bell White, you know, led team in that regard. Sarah, probably by her own standards, her numbers weren't what, you know, she would have expected, you know, still in the high 3, low 4s last year, but this year so far, batting 480, which is an amazing thing for a lead-off in that regard. And not only that, you know, most of the runs she's batting them in or being batted in herself. So leading from the front in so many different ways as she flies out to centre field. And in the sun, Steph Trzynski works hard and makes a good catch out there to retire the lead off.
It's true. Every word you said about her then. She's a terrific player, Steph, and just so aggressive, you know, head switched on. She can bunt, she can hit the ball up the middle. That's normally where it went, and it went. And
this is the other big improver too. We all know what a talent Neve Adams is as she comes to the plate now in her traditional 2 spot, but she's also somebody that's lifted in Bell's absence, which can be, you know, her 348 batting average. She's also scored 11 times, which is nearly 20% of the team's runs. So she's also still growing, because look at her now. Yeah, she looks like she's going to foot from the gillies, just gone. So
I think so. I don't know where you get that from, but I suppose it'll cost money. No, she's a really good player, strong, lovely, strong arm. Normally plays at third when
she's got a baseball pitcher's arm. That's what she's got. So she's big cut there as Bridley goes off pace outside. I mean, and the great advantage of it, especially I know when the Stars are looking at her, you know, she can catch, she can play third, she can play short, she can play in the outfield. Just a versatile player who's also a great pinch hitter in that lineup. So keeps her head still here and fouls that outside pitch away as she falls behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Falcons looking for a lead off here against the notable tight Eagles defence.
1 and 2 count, I'd be throwing the ball out and up. to see if you can draw into a swing like that.
Anybody think you've seen a game before?
I think.
And
maybe.
speaking of games before, 500 times before, we've seen Maddie Cameron come and do this. And today she celebrates 500 games. And what an achievement for what an absolute superstar of our sport.
Yeah.
So one of the best people you meet. Great personality, but just a great player all around. Aggressively gets after it and just beats Jordan Harris.
Jordan's gone horror, hadn't she? Gone horizontal then.
Well, I
just
do.
knocked it away a bit.
I know that the shortstop and second base deep pass, to us they look like they're actually rock solid, but the rain that we'd had the week priorly, those two patches is where a lot of that water had dug. So she's sort of dug in a little bit there to get going. It's it's first and third that are rock hard. But importantly, the Falcons have got a runner. Straps, wastes no time, grounds out to Sophie Hall over at third base, and quick as you like, the Eagles have retired the Falcons 1, 2, 3, 4.
First pitch.
First pitch, yeah, that is interesting too. I would have thought maybe having a bit of a look. Didn't even get to talk about Maddie's numbers, but we'll get her on the next time round. More importantly, so Shelley, so you're talking before about money that's been raised going towards the Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation. So obviously people can get in contact with them directly through their websites, social media pages. How can people get out and support or even use those services if they're, wanting to do it?
Breakthrough, yes, through their website would probably, I would suggest, would be the best way forward. And literally, I mean, yes, they're ones we're personally supporting today, but I would also be looking at all the other services. There's quite a few
Beyond
out
Blue
there.
And
Beyond
stuff.
Blue, Are You OK?
Yep.
There's quite a few different ones. If you're going through something yourself and you don't want to turn to a family member or a friend, you need someone to talk to, then there's quite a few different services, and really suggest that people reach out because there's nothing wrong with it. Anybody that says they haven't had their own little demons at times, I think is lying. We've all had it from probably the time we were 10 through to now. So
it's a complicated world nowadays, isn't it? Social media is sort of, it's you seem to know a lot more than you used to, and sometimes that anxiety can get on top of you. So
absolutely.
Chantel Ladner here, pitching to lead off Carly Allen as we go into the top of the second.
She's the DP today.
DP.
Carly. Yep.
Batting up the order, traditionally 7-ish, 8-ish, so being promoted today.
Batting for the pitcher, Harper.
Fouls that one up high, chasing there with her bright red hair that we were talking about before there, Lee.
You were impressed by it.
It was. I wasn't sure if it was the sun or if it was my glasses, but no, it was genuinely her hair. So falls behind in the count here, 2 strikes. And Ladner jams her on the top of the handle, doesn't get her all the way through, and a good catch by Neve Adams at shortstop. So brings Kelsey Nucky. So Lee, in 4 seconds or less, you want to take us around the Falcons defence?
Yes, after this batter. I
sure.
think
Yep. No worries.
Things have been happening very quickly.
It's a busy day. There's a lot of people here. It's a big crowd actually, which anybody thought the weather's brought them out.
I'm sure that's the case.
And you can just see there, Nucky takes an inside strike there from Ladner, who looks more composed today. She looks a bit calmer.
Yeah. Impressive build for a pitcher, isn't she?
Yeah.
Weathers. She's just, you see her, you say, oh, pitcher, first base. Just got that build. Strength, upper body strength.
And she's still quite young. That's the thing that I think we lose sight of. Nucky takes another pitch inside for 2 balls and a strike. So with obviously New South Wales without Parnaby and co at the Gillies, she was the one that led the New South Wales pitching with Orsini and Rickson, and did a great job. I mean, SA in that first game, she held SA and got the win. Nucky fouling that one off to stay alive in the count. But she's a great batter as well. So But the one thing I noticed about her in the Gillies was that she just seemed to be a touch of a nervous starter, just early, just to find her radar. But once she got her radar on, it was game on, and she became very, very difficult. Her first change-up of the day.
Well, I saw her bat as the DP, and New South Wales aren't in the habit of batting just somebody to give them a game. They batted her as a DP because they thought she could do the job.
Yeah.
So that's full credit to her.
Yeah.
Not many pitchers can do that.
Nucky continuing to fight off here as Tonkin calling a very smart game so far, getting the best out of Chantal Ledner from New South Wales, who we will see back in a month's time as the Gillies 2023 version as the Stars go to defend their first title in 66 years. Quicker fastball there in the hands, jamming her up. Nucky just gets to the top of the plate, and it's just being fouled off to stay alive. So Nucky fighting hard here in a full count.
Yep. New South Wales, star-studded pitching group there. There's probably about 6 of them that can pitch at that level.
Yeah.
This season.
And the pitch that got the Eagles on Wednesday night has got Nucky today, that inside pitch. So, yeah, they've got a couple of handy players coming back into the New South Wales lineup this year. Gabby Plain, another player you may have heard of. Have you heard of Stacey Porter? I believe she's coming back. And, Kai Parnaby. So, expecting New South Wales to be fairly strong.
Yes, as they usually are.
Steph Trzynski batting a little deeper than traditionally. She's coming in at 7 today, playing left field.
I was going to go around the
Sorry,
diamond,
I've messed
all
that
right,
up.
Stormy. Don't worry about it.
Stormy Weathers, yeah, I love it. Producer Brandon likes that one. Second change up, and I've nearly got that. I have got that. Oh my God! Sorry. Sorry for this, the effects on the mics there. That literally did just hit me. So, well, so much for the Jill Williams Pavilion protecting me from that. I've copped that. So Trzynski behind the count. Oh, Ladno.
Chantal was going to the bench.
She's either doing a TikTok video out there, or she thought that was a strike.
She was halfway to the bench.
Yep.
A la Laura Bond used to do that a lot, didn't she?
Yeah, the only difference was Laura wouldn't come back.
No.
She'd just keep going. And Trzynski watchful as she takes the count to 2-2 as Ladner challenges her up.
It's always a good battle, pitcher versus pitcher, isn't it?
Yeah,
always.
Absolutely.
They just don't want them to get a hit.
2 out.
Half stepped off again then, Chantal.
Yeah, got a bit of drama here. I like this, bit of showmanship. So brings the count to full. 2 out. Top of the third. Nobody on as the Falcons nil, Eagles nil. Trzynski trying to stay alive and get the Eagles a base runner. Ladner trying to retire.
She's got to throw a strike.
And she does, low and inside. Trzynski good enough to get out in front and foul that ball off down the right field line. Well, Kevin's looking for the ball. It's under the table here, mate.
There's one there.
It's under the... Yep. So we're just getting some feedback from the umpire there that he'd like us to maybe grab the ball for him.
We're otherwise entertained here.
Oh.
There's not. Here comes the manager for West Torrens.
Yeah, look out.
Nucky, look out. We'll be in trouble.
All right.
It's under there. He said it's between my legs.
I tell you what,
I'm not sure what
I've been retired from coaching for nearly 15 years and I'm still getting lit up by umpires. What's that about? Seriously, come on, Kevin. Here we go. Trzynski, full count. Gets her on a change on the outside.
Back-to-back KCs. We saw that Wednesday.
Trzynski not happy with that. Asks the question.
Well done, Sue. Sometime in the next hour I'll be able to give you the teams.
Yeah, I know. All right. Just before the end of the game.
You're welcome,
you're welcome, KT.
Whatever your name is.
So what other types of things can people do, Shelley, in regards to this?
Comments like that.
Oh, I know.
Entertained.
He's hard to keep on a leash. I can tell you that.
Breakthrough have put together a framework, framework.
Yep.
So basically, S is for social networking, so make sure you keep in contact with people that matter to you. Even if they're far away, you've got social media these days. It's not hard to flick them a message or what's happening on.
No excuse nowadays.
All the different versions of social media.
Yep.
T is for time out. Make sure you take time out for yourself and to ensure you're focusing on you. So, those of us that care for others and whatnot, make sure you take that time to just relax and take care of yourself, because every person in this is important. R is for relaxation. Do yoga, dancing, whatever. E, exercise, like these guys out here. A, alternative thinking, and M for mindfulness of others.
Yeah, that's an awesome framework, and we'll talk about that just in a second as we go through this innings. Let's not worry about the team's lead. Let's just go with it as Bridley throws to Ladner. So pitcher v pitcher as we go into the bottom of the third. Yeah, I mean, how important are all those things, like E for exercise especially? I mean, it's great seeing these girls out here. I mean, obviously we're talking about the elite levels here, but we've got grades that play at every types of level as she takes that ball inside for one-on-one. Who are, they play socially for fun. Some play competitively. Then you've got your juniors and stuff like that. So exercise, you can't drive down the road nowadays and not see a gym somewhere or a 24/7 fitness place.
Absolutely. I'm these days, my A grade career is well behind me, fortunately, before Spacequake came around, so I'm not on telly. But I get to run around with D grade, bunch of mums. Just wanted to have a go, and they're the best team I've played with, I think.
Yeah. Ladner goes hard. Wow, Jordan Harris proving that the dirt out there is not that soft after all, as she's been able to jump higher than her husband ever would have, as she's able to get up there and take a great line drive catch.
Well, he was only a catcher, and they don't get up very often.
That's also true. Ladner laces that ball as the Eagles retire the dangerous lead-off, bringing Steph Collette to the plate. Yeah, it's amazing watching the C grade now, just watching some of the names in the C grade. I caught I think it was a Walkerville West Torrens game a little while back for Karen's 900th. And, it's McGee, it's Nichols, it's Crawford, it's Dale, it's Lumberg, it's like, Bradshaw now. It's like, hang on a second, did I come to an all-star game? Or, no, it's C grade. And you should just see them. They're all having the best time. Collette flies out and to centre field, and the ball's fallen in between a couple of Eagles fielders, and Collette gets herself on. So yeah, having fun with the sport.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you can be like, we've got some girls that are, in their 40s playing for the first time ever in D grade. And that's fantastic. They're out, they're having a go, they're having a laugh, and learning something new and being part of a team, which, there's a support system just there.
Jessie Keach comes to the plate with a runner at first. Keach takes the expected high pitch first ball for shaping for a bunt.
And that's why you don't go to the first pitch, because any pitcher worth their salt is going to throw it up or away.
You can see Hoyle's already snuck down a couple of extra feet there as she's done it again. That's a great bunt, but just gone foul. Just the head of the bat just fell away a little bit and opened up the plate. And Keach now finds herself 1-1. Collette still at first as we are in the bottom of the third here. Falcons 0, Eagles 0 in Sturt's Club Day as we support mental health through Breakthrough. And we've got our special guest, Shelley Neller, South Australian softball, baseball legend, here talking with us today. And she's tried again, just pushed it that one, and it's fouled off again. So
this actual play is called sacrifice bunt, which makes me think that you sacrifice yourself for the runner.
Yeah, she did try and push through that a little bit. Sometimes just standing there and keeping it simple is the way to go, especially in a tight game like this. But still early days here in the bottom of the third. Collette not taking a massive lead off there as Keach takes that ball outside, 2-2.
Strong arm, Amber Hood. I wouldn't be taking too big a lead if I was Steph.
No, and you can see bottom of the second, right. Apparently I've just changed the game by
Hit and
innings.
run.
Kaesler stays low and takes the ground out at shortstop. That was well judged by Lana. That ball could have bounced anywhere. And she did a great job and retires the lead runner, Collette. Now, this brings Abby Kennedy, who I've heard of, but I haven't actually seen play live. What can you tell us, Lee and Shelley?
Oh, me?
Yeah,
okay.
you're
No,
Lee.
I thought Shelley was going to say. Well, I've seen her mainly in the field, not so much the batting. Terrific throw she threw in right on the button. Nearly got Geordie out.
That was a good throw. It was a real good throw.
Yeah, and Sturt don't play people in the outfield just for giving them a game. They're not going to do that. So she's got talent, this girl.
Bridley goes outside there, clips the outside edge for 1-1.
Impressive pitcher, isn't she, Harper Bridley? She's done very well this year, especially.
Similar type pitch, just a little further away for a ball. Yeah, I did say at the start of the year, obviously with, great wisdom, that the Eagles would struggle with their pitching, as they've then added Ryder, Trzynski, Benedictson, and Bridley's gone on a tear just because, I'm qualified to make stupid statements such as it's a lot of pitching to ask of a 17-year-old before the rest of them all showed up, but that's okay. I'll wear it. She's doing a great job here so far, keeping the vaunted Falcons line up as Kennedy chases that one up. Doesn't get all of it, but it hits the fence for another foul as she brings the count to 2-2.
Good summary that was about the pitches, Anthony, and we're right behind you, except some of us are a little further back than others.
That's just how, it's about right too. No, Bridley having a great year, pitching well beyond her age. And here she gets Kennedy looking, and the Eagles return standing KCs after Trzynski's in the last innings. Bridley returns the favour. So, top three, Brandon? Oh, no, thank you. All right, I just don't want to make sure I've changed the rules of the game. So, alternative thinking. So, that type of stuff there, I was just reading before, when it says check if your response is reasonable, I mean, that in itself is just part of making sure that you reach out and just find out that you're not actually wandering around making different mistakes or different questions. Like, sometimes you just get so rattled, what you think you're doing is the right thing, but the reality is you may be way off tangent, and it takes courage for that other person just to be able to say, hey, just chill out. And
yeah, absolutely. For having the people to actually stand up and go, rather than ridicule you and give you a ribbing, sort of give you a bit of a tap on the shoulder and sort of say, hey, take a step back, reassess this situation, that sort of thing. Yeah,
I love the framework in the sense too, like social networking, such a powerful tool, pro and con, but it's the ones that's the time out and the relaxation ones that I think none of us do a very good job of nowadays.
We're terrible.
I don't know what it is, but I feel ridiculously busier than I do 20 years ago, and yet I feel like I'm doing the same stuff.
Absolutely.
And so the world's just caught up.
20 years ago, I was playing, elite level sport on top of everything I'm doing now.
Yep.
So that was way more than what I'm doing now, but now I don't seem to have as much time. So.
Yeah, it's just forever under it. So centre field, Danny Backside is the lead off for the Eagles in the top of the third. Thank you, Brandon. As Ladner continues her work, Backside has recovered from that hyperextension injury that she had a couple of weeks ago, where she was replaced by Marnie Nichols, the legend, in a lace minute call-up. And there you can hear a little bit of what James was talking about Wednesday night. Danny's kind enough to give her some feedback in regards to what she's swinging at and what she's not swinging at. And you can just hear a sharp no there as the pitch just breaks away from the outside. and Ladner goes the other way, goes inside. So what other types of things are you doing nowadays, Shelley, in regards to, I mean, I've usually talked about your wife and how you're helping her. How do you use Breakthrough? How do you use the tools that they've got out there to be able to help you with those types of things? As Backside flies out to shortstop, as Neve Adams' good day at shortstop continues. Like, I mean, just in reference to the websites and stuff like that, obviously there's helplines and stuff like that people can call. So you don't have to be a qualified person to be able to reach out to do this. You can just be a friend, just be a mate.
Absolutely. Anyone that if you're a friend and associate, even half like someone, and you see them struggling, you know, it pays to reach out. You know, just are you okay? Anything I can do?
Yep.
Chin up. You know, there's lots of different ways of doing it.
Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking is, well, it's one of my fortes, but it's definitely one of the best ways. You know, keep people open, get them talking, let them open up to you, and let's see what can happen from there.
Sturt are running their club day today, and on the third base bench on Diamond 1, they've got some hot food and some other cool treats there. So get along and support them. As Jackie Bill has fouled this off, as Keach runs just right up to the fence as they attempt to make that catch there. Bill batting at 9 for the Eagles. Hood on deck, so we're coming back through the top of the lineup for the first time. Jackie Bill having another good year as well, and in her preferred number 9 spot, Lee, or your preferred number 9 spot for her.
Yep, I think so. You've got to be a special person to play bat at 9, I reckon.
She's pulled that ball and over to the very reliable Rachel Tonkin even, as she's grounded out, bringing Hood to the plate at 2 out. Top of the line. So this knee replacement, same knee, other knee?
Other knee,
right.
Yep. I'll be the bionic woman by the time I finish.
Yeah, absolutely, far out. You might be able to go back to A grade, who knows? So.
Doctors inform me there's 2 things I'm not allowed to do: run and drunk dance. So
you've only been able to promise one of those?
Yeah, I can't. I promised I can't run.
No comment.
I never make too many decisions, smart decisions about drunk dancing.
No, you never can.
So well, we both had the pleasure of coaching you.
Yes,
I've been
coached by both of you. Yeah.
I remember you hitting a long ball over the top at left field one day, one wet night, a Wednesday evening. And Linda Martin, that champion shortstop, came up to me and she said, "I've never seen a ball go so far." And then your sister, Mandy, came in and batted next. And I thought it's a hard act to follow Mandy. And guess what Mandy did? Stand up double.
There you go.
So it runs in the family. I just saw your father, John. He's going all right?
Yep, he's going well. He's
got to be older than me, sure.
Oh, he's older than everyone, isn't he?
Gee, I'm pleased to hear that. Yep. I don't usually get that said to me very much.
Yeah, no. I think I was definitely older than the dirt out there, so.
Amber Hood behind in the count here. You can see 1 ball, 2 strikes. She's had a couple of similar pitches called, and you can see now she's fighting hard, and she's added an inch to the plate either side, maybe going a little bit more outside of the zone that she's used to, as she's trying to stay alive here, as Tonkin and Ladner using every bit of that plate. Change up, high and out.
It was a good one. Might have got a lesser batter than Amber in trouble, but Amber stayed.
I reckon if Shelley Nellis saw that thing sit up there that high, that long,
yeah,
I reckon there's a dog club person at the moment that would be running for cover. So, Hood leans back on the ball at deep in the count, goes over left field. You can see already turning for 3. Cameron's strong arm comes in, but it's wide as Keach goes off the base to recover it. And from 2 out and behind in the count,
great shot.
The superstar that is Amber Hood has hit a stand-up triple. And this is what happened a little bit last time, Lee, where the Eagles, the one thing that they did to Ladner on that fateful day was that they went and hit 4 triples for the day, which of the 10 hits that they picked up that day. So And it doesn't get any easier at 2 out because the dangerous Jordan Harris has come to the plate. Eagles, opportunity with a runner at 3. Outside, Harris watchful. So in a tight game like this, this at-bat becomes super important.
Jackie Bill's running for Amber here at 3rd.
Harris chases aggressively and fouls it off. Well, there's no respite here for Ladner because you can't walk Harris because they're only going to send Casler to the plate. And you can't walk her because you're going to send Hoyle to the plate. So you've got to take on somebody now.
See, I'd throw change up to Jordan. Just try and buy an out here, make her hit the ball in the air somewhere where a fielder is.
Yeah, centre field and catching positions. Harris chases up again. Keach running over towards the fence as 3 Sturt fielders arrive just over by the light tower, but the ball has gone foul and brings up a second strike.
Yeah, sometimes in this game, Stormy, you can just buy an out just when you need one when there's 2 out, like there is. Hasn't hurt at the moment, that triple. It can, though.
Well, the Eagles are one of those teams that it only takes one opportunity and they can get going. Ladner, good away pitch there, good mix.
See, the trouble is when you see a runner at 3rd and you're the pitcher, Chantel, she's going to pitch to very carefully to the next batter, which is Jordan. She knows what these people are capable of. She's pitched them before. She knows what not to throw to. I think you throw change up, you buy an out.
That's a good pitch, but it's gone out to left field
like
and
that.
Shallow, and easily taken by Steph Collette to remove the threat as the Eagles are retired as we go into the bottom of the 3rd. Falcons themselves coming back through the top of their lineup. So just reading there, Shelley, that they're talking about at Sturt that they're planning to promote some mental health first aid training for club members and potentially for the comp. Know much about that?
Jill Collins has been at the forefront of working all that sort of stuff out. She's on a holiday overseas at the moment, which is the first one she's had in a long time, which is great. But yeah, so they've we're trying to organise some mental health first aid training for a few of us, just to make sure that we are doing the right things, we know the right things to do, we help people out, and we've got direct people to go to help throughout this process.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I've
watch
been
this space.
Yeah, definitely watch this space. We've been in contact with a few people, and I'm not sure how far down the track it is with a few, but yeah, definitely looking at getting that started. Hopefully early next year, getting that up and running. So.
Well,
yeah.
that's just sometimes. I mean, that type of stuff in this day and age is just as important as, you know, a scrape on the arm or anything else like that. The visible wounds, you know, they're the easy ones to attend to, but it's the other ones that can be harder.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Number 9, Rachel Tonkin comes to the plate for her first at bat of the day v Harper Bridley. Eagles nil, Falcons nil in.
2 safe hits to each side.
Tonkin tries a.
Amber's got both of them for the West Torrens Eagles, and Maddie Cameron and Steph Collette have got the safe hits for Sturt. Sorry, Anthony.
No.
Just trying to get
I haven't let you read the teams, so that's a fair quack. I'll take that. First ball today in the dirt as. Which is, I mean, we were talking about this pre-game too, where we lead. Like, there hasn't been a lot of hot days down here at West Beach in this season. So this is probably going to be that first genuine test of some bullpens. So obviously we know the Falcons behind Ladner have got the impressive Ruby Fridge. And then, as I mentioned before, Bridley's got, as she just, Tonkin grounds out to Harris, who quickly shuffles in, takes the ball at eye level and makes a sharp throw to first. As I mentioned before, Bridley's only got Trzynski, Ryder and Benedictson behind her to be able to help her out in need. So it'll be interesting to see how long both these pitches go. as this is only the second time through the lineup as Sturt's leadoff, Sarah Tonkin, comes back to the plate. And as I was saying before, Lee, her year so far leading the way with a 480 on base of 581, which is insane for your leadoff.
Yep.
Take that every day of the week.
Look at both leadoffs. Look at Amber Hood. Look at Sarah Tonkin.
Yeah.
Terrific players.
And obviously both players going to be super important with the Gillies Shield around the corner, as both of them will be defending the national championship.
What about those two catches Sarah Tonkin took in the final?
Yeah.
I could not believe I'd saw them.
Ridley, probably for the first time today, just falling behind on the count, and Amber Hood picking up on those signs as she's just seen her pitcher be a little unsettled. And as Amber would do, has timed out to just give her a second to just check in and see where she's at. Just reaffirm some positive goals here. Keep it simple. Just worry about that next pitch, and here we go. Dangerous time at the moment. Even with one out, top of the lineup for the Falcons. You've got the dangerous Neve Adams on deck.
Halfway through the time we are, so I think we'll see Steph maybe the next innings. There's no discredit to Harper, of course, but as you've mentioned, Anthony, it's so oppressive and hot out there, which we're not used to. These players wouldn't be used to this weather.
As Tonkin goes opposite field and hits the ball out to right field, and has got on as she hits the ball in the 3-4 hole, as the Falcons get an earned base runner as Tonkin reaches, brings Neve Adams to the plate, and the dangerous 500 gamer Cameron on deck now. So one out, would you still bunt at one out, Lee?
I would.
Just leave it all to Cameron? I suppose the only weakness there is that Straps went first pitch last time, and she does. Adams lays the bunt down, and Nucky watches it just roll out on the first base line.
Yeah, it didn't have any height or any width in it, neither, the pitch. Dangerous pitch to throw first. Tonkin. Because, you know, at that pace, you've got time, Neve's got time to adjust and say, no, I'm going for the first one.
Absolutely. Tonkin had a great jump there too. She was already at second, so the job had already been done. So Neve Adams, one strike. Will she repeat, or will she look for some... Yeah, she's going again, and she's just pushed at it. And again, Tonkin with another great jump. Adams now, 2 strikes.
We all go back a fair way, don't we? And it was always sacrifice bunt. Forget about yourself. Just put the ball in the play.
You only ever asked me to do one sacrifice bunt in my life, Lee.
Oh, yeah, I was drunk at the time, obviously.
I was just thinking that. Adams, with some great discipline there, stays off the high pitch.
I think I must have been drunk.
No, you put it on me because we needed to wind up the innings. And,
right. I was going to say that.
Just pointing out that I bunted successfully. So
there we go.
Okay.
Advanced runner. And
everyone was in that much shock I got safe at first. So it didn't work.
Including myself.
Yeah.
An aggressive piece of batting there by Adams as she fouls off, but Tonkin was running too, so that could have been a hit and run as Coach Justina Adams staying aggressive here, trying to unsettle the rock-solid Harper Ridley at the middle, whose ERA for the season's 1.67.
Trying to make something happen.
Which is super impressive when you consider it over 27 innings of work.
Yep.
And chases her up, and Amber Hood acknowledges the importance of that at-bat. But
Terrific
that brings
pitch.
the legend, 500-game superstar, Maddie Cameron to the plate, who, again, in a season where Belle White has had limited contributions due to injury, Maddie's decided that batting .478 and batting in 23% of the team's runs is how can she best contribute, and she's doing an amazing job of that.
Always looks to go after the first pitch, Maddie.
Yeah, and I think...
Could have been the right choice then.
Yeah, could have been. She's a dangerous player, though. She's power hitters. You're going to always get that off-speed stuff. You're rarely going to get tubed, so...
You would go a long way to see her more keener to hit the ball than Maddie.
She's just dropped her hands on that one, and the ball's gone super high, and Harris stands underneath it and looks into the sun, but is good enough to make a great catch at second, and retires Cameron as the Falcons nil, Eagles nil, as we now go into top 4, Brandon. Yes, just checking. Okay, that's great to hear. So, I mean, it's an impressive thing. I mean, if you look at these two teams, I mean, over this century, they're dominant in the fact that obviously the Falcons themselves have won 18 premierships, last one in 2021. The Eagles have 15, but together the two clubs here, Sturt have won 9 and Eagles 8 in the last 22 years, sorry, of this century, which means that they've attributed for nearly 77% of the premierships. So we're looking at the two dominant franchises in Adelaide softball right at the moment. And here we are, 0-0 in the fourth.
That's excellent work by you. I didn't know you were a mathematician, Stormy, but I'm learning that all the time. Something new about you.
More importantly than the comedy that's coming here, we've got softball and baseball superstar and legend of the state, Shelley Neller, here talking about mental health on behalf of Breakthrough. So the wristbands that I saw given out before the game, I can see that they were obviously saying Breakthrough there. Obviously just a little bit of symbolism, giving them to the opposition today, just to help spread the word.
Yeah, just a little thing to sort of say, you know, like, are you okay? As we said, you know, opening up the conversation. You know, we've heard the story back at the club that one of the girls from another team who received it at her game had her own mental health struggles, and she ended up by losing hers, and she had a bit of a meltdown about it. So they contacted the club and said, you know, hey, look, do you still have one? And we got her back another one.
Yeah.
It was just her little thing that she could hold on to and symbolise something for her.
Made an impact.
And so it's just those little stories that you really love to hear. You know, these days there's so much going on. You know, we know of the club, there's so many really good causes. You know, throughout the years you have, you know, we have Pride Round, we have Breast Cancer Round, we have Indigenous Round. You know, all of these causes are incredibly important. But the one that, you know, that's for me, it isn't about necessarily raising massive amounts of money, but making sure we raise awareness is definitely for us mental health. Because it's the one that impacts everybody. People, you know, the Indigenous have their own struggles with mental health because of how they've been treated. You know, Pride, you've got your LGBTQI community, of which I'm one, have their own struggles because of stuff that's happened.
Lana Kaiser's just hit a stand-up double as she's 2 at 1 in the count, and she's gone to her traditional centre right field, her favourite spot from her time at the Gillies earlier this season, something that she's probably done to Ladner before, as she gets the Eagles off and racing here in the top of the fourth, none out, and the dangerous Sophie Hall to the plate with a runner in scoring position. I love the story about the fact that person contacted the club and you're able to do that, because it just shows the impact that something as simple as a wristband and how important it is, and the fact that you were able to obviously reconnect that and make that all work. That's it just shows, you know, we've all got our little triggers of things that we need to make sure that we feel safe and we feel okay. So great work to Sturt.
Absolutely, yeah. Makes a big difference.
Yeah. And a great call too on lots of the causes. It's one thing that from our era, Shelley, to now, one thing that softball does much better than what we used to back in our era, where it was all sort of hush-hush and just nobody spoke about nothing.
Absolutely.
And now we've got Pride Round, now we've got Indigenous Round, now we've got Mental Health Round, Breast Cancer Round. I mean, it's so good to be a part of that, to raise awareness, raise some money, and just try and help make it all a better place for the great softball community.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't, you know, you look back to our era and everyone can slam what happened in the past, but that's just the way things were then. As long as we evolve and grow, that's the important thing. You know, what happened yesterday happened yesterday. But we can make tomorrow better, and we can make today better. And that's the important things from my side. I mean, you look at how I handled things, you know, back then, and there's a lot of things I would have done differently. You know, with the head I've got now.
And some of that's obviously, you know, just a bit of maturity through age and stuff, but it's also awareness because of what you're doing today in trying to get the word out so that young people understand that there are these services out there that they can access via social media, the web, or just, again, just speaking to somebody. It doesn't have to be anybody qualified. Just check in. As Hoyle fights out 2-2 in the count with a runner at scoring position, Lana Kaysler, after her stand-up double to centre right field to lead off the innings as the Eagles in the top of the fourth threaten through the middle of their lineup.
Yeah, definitely reach out and taking the time to actually listen to them when they do reach out. That's the big key.
Yep. Ladner challenging Hoyle high in the zone. Hoyle disciplined enough to stay off of it and makes the count full. Carly Allen on deck, and we know all Carly Allen, we know her stats rise by about 120 points. When there's a runner in scoring position, she might get her opportunity here. Full count on Hoyle. And Hoyle's same pitch that got her Wednesday night, got her again on Saturday. One out. Carly Allen normally sits in the mid 300s, but with a runner on, she goes up into the high 4s. So she knows what to do. Multi-premiership player.
Yeah, she's a powerful hitter of the ball when she's going. I've seen her hit Monica Perry in a grand final, and not too many other people could ever do that.
Takes an early strike there. You can see that the Sturt Falcons outfield, Cameron and Colette, both have come in. She gets jammed on the inside, but the ball has bounced out foul. Probably not the best feeling, as it's probably come off the foot there, I think. But jammed on the hands there, and definitely had her for pace, Ladner. So, who we did see at the Gillies get up to 103. So we know that she's got a decent ball. Suggesting change-up, are you, Lee?
I am, or something away, so she'll swing at it. Like that.
So Allen gets challenged and turns and hits the ball, as she does with runners in scoring position, over shortstop, out to left field. The Falcons jump on it quickly, but not before Allen has reached first and Kaysler has reached third, as the Eagles now have a 1-3 split opportunity with runners at 1 and 3, with one out. Something we saw them do in round 1, Lee, against Port Adelaide very effectively in that 5-4 win. They lose the game on earn runs, but they were able to engineer multiple runs through their 1-3 split offense. So where they were able to run delay steals and get Port napping.
And that's why you need to take the pace off the ball, because a lot of these people like White, Cameron, Tonkin, they just thrive on the pace.
Yep.
Just don't give it to them.
So Nucky at the plate now.
I throw change up first pitch to Kelsey.
But Nucky at the plate now. She doesn't want to hit into a double because she's about to bring Trzynski to the plate behind her, as Nucky aggressively challenges and gets after the first pitch. Just me, the heat out there, sapping the voice. It's been a very quiet game today as far as the fields are concerned. Normally,
conserving energy.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I think so.
Ladner again challenging up. Impressive pitcher for New South Wales. A good pickup for the Falcons in her 3rd game here so far this season for the CMAX Premier League. Goes inside and low. Nucky fouls it out. Traditionally, a left side hitter is Nucky. So
where do you think you should throw it? Outside, I would suggest, or a changer?
Yeah, runners at 1 and 3 and 1 out.
I'm surprised they haven't got somebody to run for Carly there. No discredit to Carly's pace.
Yeah.
But it just puts a bit more pressure on the field.
Yeah. Well, left field Colette has come in and Cameron has come in as well. So they're creeping in. So you're obviously the message out to them is to not just defend the catch, they're actually looking to throw the runner out at the range that they're stepping in. So an aggressive play by Sturt, backing their battery. Lee desperate to see a change up.
I am.
Inside and low, and Nucky discipline stays away as the count now goes full.
Well, they don't want to fill the bases up with Steph the batter, I'm telling you.
No, not at
That's
one out.
asking for trouble. Big trouble.
Anything close here, Nucky's going to have to go. Off pace, and she's going to hit shallow to centre field. Cameron versus Kaysler. Cameron's throw comes in hard and fast. The throw beats her for pace. The throw beats her for pace, but it's just a little wide as... Did he call that out?
Yep.
Oh, no. Of course. Allen was then thrown out. But not before Kaysler has done the damage and scored the go-ahead run. Sorry, I was watching one thing and didn't watch the other. So as Allen tears off for second. Yep. So Cameron's throw was a rocket, but it was just a little high and wide. Tonkin did a good job of getting up the line and recovering it, still nearly making a play on Kaysler, but Allen jumps out and runs to second and gets thrown out on the changeover. But the Eagles have done the job. They've got their run that they need. And as they go ahead 1-0, Sturt in the bottom of the fourth will get their right of reply with their number 4 hitter, Tash Straps, leading off.
And that's why I thought just put somebody out there to run for Carly.
Yeah.
Might have been the difference between being safe or out with Steph to come up and bat. You know.
Yep, spot on. And they've got some young names. I saw a name when I looked down the Eagles list. I saw Kay Shido. And I thought, oh wow, they've gone back to the well. They've gone back to the experience of Keir, but it's actually not. It's the daughter of. It's Keely Shido.
Yes,
so
and,
who's
and
got
the mother. I saw the mother. I was involved in that game in Tasmania, where the mother put Melanie Roach over the fence at right field.
That story's never been told, Lee. I've never heard Keir mention that story. So
really?
No. What an absolute superstar she is too. But I honestly did think for a moment that she was making an A-grade return. I mean, far out. If Nichols can get dragged out of the car park to cover for an injured Danny backside, I mean, anything's possible. So
adding to that is probably her only safe hit for the week. Actually, it was.
Right, that's you by yourself now talking.
That's true. Yeah. I'm just talking facts.
No, not talking about anything else. I'm just talking about the home run. We're going into the bottom of the fourth here, as you can see, Coach Adams and the superstar Olympian that is Belle White out the front, having a bit of a chat there as Tash Straps, will lead us off. But the Eagles have got their run lead and they've taken the opportunity to make a change. As Bridley, we saw some signs in that last innings just starting to tire a little bit, and the Eagles have been able to go into the trick bag, and what a trick they've found as they've been able to pull out the 2-time Kathleen Coral medalist superstar Steph Trzynski.
That's what we thought would happen, didn't we? Really?
You faced Steph not before?
No.
Wrong areas have I got?
Yeah, we didn't quite cross it. Oh, well, I faced her as a kid.
Right.
Yeah, and...
Did you have your eyes open?
Yeah, well...
Just asking.
Let's be honest, did I ever really have my eyes open? My decisions were made well before the pitcher stepped on the plate.
So, still involved in the baseball? Still running around?
I'm coaching or co-coaching Div 2.
Yeah, right.
At the moment, because obviously can't play with my knees. But so I'm still part of that and loving that, which is good.
It's good fun, isn't it?
It is.
I always go to the Glenelg games.
Oh, you should pick a better team, but anyway.
Tash Straps here leading off the bottom of the fourth for the Falcons. Went for a first pitch ground out, and this time she goes for a first pitch chasing a ball on the up as Trzynski yet to give up a run in her return to the season. Dominant in her 3-0 win over the Hills on Wednesday night. only the 9 strikeouts, but it was the amount of standing strikeouts that caught us by surprise, Lee.
9 in total.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a game, certainly haven't called a game, when there's been 9 standing strikeouts.
Straps out in front, fouls that one off. We've also had a double change here as the DP, Allen, has come in behind the plate. So Amber Hood has found her way out to centre field, and Backside has moved over to left. Yep. I think. Or have they made another change? Lee, can you see out that far? I can't see past the plate.
What's on the plate? Sausages?
Krasinski challenges Straps high again, and she fouls that one off. I'm just checking, that's Backside out there, or have they...
Left field, yeah.
Yeah. So Amber Hood's moved into centre field, and the DP's come into the game as Allen's behind the plate.
Yep.
It's the one thing that's been impressive about the Eagles this season is the fact that I think their record of 8 wins, 2 draws, no losses, is that they've been able to keep the side relatively intact. And I think that's one of the reasons why they've been going as well as they have, where a lot of the other teams chopping and changing, and that's due to a variety of different reasons. That's players coming down from the country, school availabilities, exams, and so on and so on. But because they've been able to keep the nucleus of what's together, I think that's indicative in their results. Would you say, Mr. Hull?
I certainly would. Very good points you raise.
Straps behind in the count, continues to fight, meeting the ball well out in front. So far in front, she's fouled that off way down the left field line. Expecting a change of pace in the near future here, Lee?
No, not from Steph. Steph does just throw off pace now and again, but she doesn't need to. Most of the time, she just gets it past the bat.
Full count on Tash Straps. And gets her swinging for a strikeout as Krasinski begins her work in the bottom of the 4th. Brings to the plate the import pitcher from New South Wales, Chantel Ladner. Aussie Spirit member. Krasinski asks the question early. Ladner takes a fastball, struck 1.
Steph's a pitcher, you got to stay in the count. You get beyond the count, then it's going to be tough work.
Drop ball away as she levels the count at 1-1. Yeah. Hood's probably, the Eagles outfield all where it normally would be, so no change in strategy so far. Good kicking rise ball there as she challenges her high. 2 balls, 1 strike as we're in the bottom of the 4th innings. Eagles 1, Falcons 0 in Sturt Club Day as we support mental health awareness through breakthrough. Great pitch by Trzynski and Ladner all over the top of it as she levels the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now I throw inside and low.
Off pace as she keeps the ball low, but just away as the count now becomes full. Falcons 1 out. Ladner looking to become the base runner. Steph Collette on deck. Fouls it off down the right field line over to where the Hills are warming up. I suppose Kevin wants us to get that ball as well, does he? I hope he's got sunscreen on today, KT. He needs to get into Red Star Cafe and Bar 66 after this game and get himself a cold beverage. He looks like he's warm out there. Shameless plug.
Well played.
Ladner well out in front on that one. Hits the bottom of the bat as she fouls it off left side. Kevin's still unhappy about the fact that we don't have the ball for him already. We're working on it, champ, as he's taken himself over to the shade. Yeah, it was a shameless plug, but today, Sturt Club Day, they've got bacon and egg rolls. They've got some fancy goodies going on down on the third base side of Diamond 1. So get over there and support Sturt Falcons as they support mental health awareness as their club day. Count full. And Trzynski challenges her high. Ladner follows it up, fouls it off. Bar 66, fully stocked today. We've got some new drinks in there. So, got some Red Bulls in there. We've got some, I'm not too sure if I'm allowed to say any of the other brands or anything, so I don't know what the protocols are, but all I'm saying is that it's cold and it's well priced, and come in and get yourself out of the sun. And I've just been electrically zapped, so so come and get yourself a cold drink. Ladner, full count, smashes this ball deep centre left. Hood goes back as it runs out to the fence. Ladner already at second. She was going to third, but a great throw in by Hood to the cut. Lana Casely out at shortstop.
What a terrific turn it back for Chantel.
Fouled off. Yeah,
fouled off. Got done by the ball that was going up, but just belted that one.
Yeah. That's a great piece of batting there, as you see on the CMAX replay. Got all of it, and that's what Chantel Ledner's capable of. That's why she's in the Aussie squads. And here you can see she's on her way to third, but that cut off from Hood to Casler was good enough to hold her. Collette takes an early ball. So Falcons looking to bounce back after the Eagles scored a go-ahead run last innings, with Casler scoring on the sack. Collette watches that ball go over for 1-1. Jessie Keach, Abby Kennedy, Rachel Tonkin, the batters to follow. Inside as Collette doesn't get it off the shoulder, takes another strike and falls behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trzynski battling back. Takes the ball, 2-2. Collette got on last innings, her last at bat with a shot.
Crucial part of the game here right now.
Absolutely.
This batter can hit. Collette, Steph.
Chases that one away, and Trzynski gets the important second out of the innings. Yes, not having a great year by her standards, Collette. Obviously, coming from Walkerville last season, where she had to do a lot of work in the field. But yeah, her batting numbers and so on. Obviously coming to a new club, it's going to take some time to settle in. Jessie Keach comes to the plate, looking to keep the Falcons alive. High ball.
Ruby DeBro's come on the run for
I was just about to
Chantel.
say, they've got their picture out of the sun. Jammed on the inside. Casler able to get that off-pace hit and takes a slow motion line drive at shortstop, retiring the Falcons. As we move into the top of the 5th, this game poised on a knife edge. Eagles 1, Falcons 0. Today with us, special guest, softball superstar and baseball superstar legend of South Australia is Shelley Nella. She's here talking to us about mental health, what we can do to be better at it, be better about talking about it, making sure that we can get the word out on behalf of Breakthrough.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've one of the things I was in a lot of the conversations we've had is that, you know, places like, you know, sporting groups and construction sites and that sort of stuff, that can be your biggest support, but also historically they've been some of the worst places for you know, helping people deal with mental health. Where we've been lucky is, you know, well, South Australian absolute softball legend Karen Dale is doing her bit with Mates in Construction. She's their, their marketing and business development manager. So, you know, we're certainly using people within softball, are certainly getting out and doing a lot within the community to make sure that we try and make everyone better and more aware and make our society as a whole a lot better.
It's awesome. Speaking of Karen Dale, she's just 30 feet to the left of us with softball superstar Sophie Roberts getting ready for the 4 p.m. game, Walkerville v the Hills. Karen, you'd be surprised, Shelley, to know that she's only just in the top 10 for all averages as Trzynski goes after a first pitch and flies out to shortstop Neve Adams. You'd be surprised to know that Karen, in her 67th year of Premier League softball, is still in the top 10 for batters, batting over 400 in the Premier League.
No, it doesn't surprise me because I don't actually think she's human. And I think it's actually her 68th, not her 67th year.
Yeah. I went to her 900th a little while ago in C grade, and she's batting 400 now in Premier League, and I'm sort of like, I can't. I don't know.
I think she just wanted to get her games up.
I think, yeah, the fountain of youth. It's that being said, I can start a rumour, which I'm quite happy to go public with, which we'll get to after this pitch, as Danny Backside looks to be the Eagles' base runner. She takes a ball from Chantel Ledner. Recently at the Under-12 State Nationals, there was a two-time Kathleen Cole medalist that wasn't Steph Trzynski, found shopping for cleats in Melbourne, which is ironic since she'd only just turned 50 in October. So, so Kylie Weatherstone busted buying cleats as a 50-year-old. Could suggest that be it Masters, be it C grade, there could be a return imminent.
She's heard about the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, apparently. So Ladnag does a great job getting ahead in the count against Backside, and then with a great breaking ball on the outside.
Pitched very well, hasn't she, Chantel?
She has looked completely different from. I'm assuming she's gone back and had a look at that tape from last time because, you know, when you give up 4 triples in a game such as that, she's been very dominant today. Jackie Beale, right field and batting at 9 for the Eagles.
4 safe hits to each side.
Yeah. It's what you would expect from 1v3. And as I said, 70%, high 70% of the premierships in the last this century coming from these two clubs. They're two powerhouses that are just continually, the Eagles continue to knock on the door, and the Falcons, obviously, with their state MVP Millie Fidge ending up at the University of Hawaii, have been able to realign. Jackie Beale does what she does so well, and even though Sturt had prepared for it with Colette fielding very shallow at left field, she's been able to just hit the ball over that 6-5 hole as she does so well. And Maddie Cameron over to back up Colette like a lightning to make sure that Beale gets no further than second. But what it's done is brought the dangerous Amber Hood to the plate, having a good day as she leads off the Eagles. So we're at the top of the line.
2 down.
2 down, but a runner in scoring position. Eagles leading 1-0 in the top of the 5th. Ladner up again.
Catching.
Yes, Tonkin rock solid as always behind the plate. 2 balls. Predictions here, Lee? How's this game going to wind up?
Well, it'll wind up when time goes, or we play 7. But my own prediction, I think they might get out of here. Just need the ball hit to the ground, or if it's going to be deep in the air so somebody can catch it.
Falcons are going to come back through the top of their line as we go into the next innings.
That's why it's very important to get rid of this batter. And it's not going to be easy.
No, she did a great job after fighting through that last at-bat where she was right behind in the count.
2 for 2 at the moment.
Fouls that one off as she does, it's tipped and hit the catching helmet of Tonkin. Yes, she's definitely in play for CMAX Player of the Day, along with probably the likes of the performance of Ladner so far in the middle's done a great job.
Been very good, very good. Change up time here.
Hood chases it as it's gone high as Tonkin catches the ball.
Over calls Peachy.
Yeah, and has every right of way. Anybody that's wearing the gear should be making that call. As she retires the dangerous Amber Hood as the Eagles continue to hold on to a 1-0 lead. But now as we come into the bottom of the 5th, the Falcons are about to come back down through the top of their lineup. So, so there might be another player coming back. So who would have thought that, you know, you need to take 15 years out before you decide to make a comeback?
Well, you can't keep quality down.
Well,
people have tried.
Well, I'll edit that, but it was a surprise. I did think she was shopping for the daughter, but apparently not. So, if we don't get an opportunity soon, I just want to say on behalf of everybody, Shelley, not only thank you for coming along today and spending the afternoon with me and Lee and calling what is currently a gripping contest as it gets towards the end, but thank you for the work that you've done in bringing what is a very difficult subject to bear and making sure that we are talking about it and having the courage to do that, and obviously sharing the personal situations obviously with your wife and so on, and we appreciate the time that you've given up and what you're doing for that. So thank you on behalf of everybody today.
Thank you very much. And just from a personal perspective, as I said, Jill Collins has been she plays in my D grade, and the one thing that's been amazing about her is, and that team knows, I have lots of ideas, but as to getting them up and running is not my strong suit. And she has worked so tirelessly to get this up and running and to be the thing that it is. So without her, we would not have been in this situation. It still wouldn't be happening. Marianne and I would still be talking about it over a beer or two. So all the work she's done is fantastic, and I could not thank her enough to make sure it happened. Big
shout out to her. Thank you for being the face of that in that regard. So let's make sure we all take the chance and the opportunity to get around and just check in with everybody. There's plenty of avenues you can see through the website and obviously through the other ones, Beyond Blue, and all of the other types of websites and other information you can get out there. But at the end of the day, if you're not feeling great, check in with somebody, just let them know. Absolutely, have a chat. Yeah, I mean, you were saying before with the framework that they've created, one of the ones there was M for mindfulness of others, and I think that's really making sure, if we all keep an eye on each other and help each other out, we're going to go a lot better. Absolutely. Abby Kennedy leading off the Falcons here as she's behind in the count as she faces Steph Trzynski for the first time. And gets a change up and ball in the dirt as Trzynski retires the leadoff, bringing Rachel Tonkin to the plate. This is an important at-bat here because sister superstar is on deck, which means that the Falcons' top of the order is imminent v Trzynski. So important at-bat right here.
It's a good pitch, isn't it? It's just pitched with so much control.
Yeah, the question mark coming back, obviously, how much work she had done in Japan. And yeah, you don't forget how to do it when you don't do it for a little while. But she has come back and looked super impressive. So
she's quality.
Tonkin gets a change up. Harris stays low at second base and makes a good solid play as the Eagles retire the first two fairly quickly, as now Sarah Tonkin is the leadoff for the Sturt Falcons. Comes to the plate with 2 out, and the Falcons top of the lineup behind her. So interesting time of the game. We're at 3:21, so we would need something to happen fairly quickly here, and for the Falcons to retire the Eagles pretty quickly to get another shot at it. So Eagles currently defending a 1-0 lead from Kaisler's run scored in the bottom of the fourth. Top of the fourth, sorry. Another off-pace pitch there by Trzynski as Tonkin out in front of it fouls it off down the third base line. What are you doing here, Cheryl? Looking for in a count such as this, the game's poised. You got Trzynski throwing missiles on the mound. What are you looking for? What's your trigger?
You're staying off the rise, and then you're reaching out for whatever you can get.
In this case, it happens to be a change-up to Tonkin as she's grounded out to the pitcher as the Falcons are retired. But we're going to go around for one more time as we head into the sixth, and the Eagles get a chance to extend, but the Falcons will get a right of reply. So start time for Shelley and Lee to be thinking about their CMAX player of the day, and also our CMAX power play of the game as well. So you can think over that. Remembering too, Sturt Falcons Club Day today. So on the third base bench on Diamond 1, please get along and get yourself some of their tasty treats and merch that are there. And if you need some cold refreshments, head inside to the Red Star Cafe or Bar 66. So we'll be there all day long. Richard Combe medal today, Lee.
Certainly is. That's what they're playing for.
Is that an award that can be only won by Sturt, or is that for both teams?
It's usually Sturt, I think. Well, I don't know for sure. So
because he did have some premiership success at the Eagles.
Yep. Well, maybe it's for both.
We will find out.
It's well named, whatever.
As we go into the final innings of play here today. So, top of the sixth, it is Eagles 1, Falcons 0. Jordan Harris will be the Eagles leadoff. Chantel Ledner moving into her 6th inning of work so far today.
I reckon she might try a running bunt here, Jordan. There's something out of the blue for you, Weathers. Oh, sorry, Stormy.
You're having too much fun with that, Lee.
It's all about timing.
Harris.
It's all about timing.
That's what he keeps telling me. I've got to learn my timing.
I don't know whether you got that many years left to do that.
That's very kind of you. That's not what the doctor told me yesterday. The Falcons, the Eagles lead off Harris here. She's also just leaned back on that as she's hit the handle and rolled the ball down to the left field line for an early strike. I'd be more inclined just to tell Harris just to take it as long and as an at-bat as she needs, not try and force anything, find a good pitch in the count, and just be a base runner. As she's got an opportunity as she hits the ball to centre right, takes an outside pitch, and does exactly what Coach Lemery wants, and that's be an early base runner in the top of the sixth for the Eagles. Coach McGee in the bucket hat over there, in her noticeably same shoes, same socks as Coach Lemery, in the same shoes and same socks. And if we could see Coach Thomas, she's also in the same as well. An impressive collection of same shoes by the coaches. Kaisler at the plate. High, as you'd expect, with bunt opportunity as Tash straps all the way down the first base line. Tonkin communicating with Jessie Keach about making sure that there's cover at 3.
It's early in the count, but you could go hit and run here. Jordan's itching to go. Same
Excellent
horse,
bunt
different
by
jockey.
Kaysler. Harris advanced. And Lee's been wanting one all day, and he's finally got a genuine traditional sacrifice bunt.
On the second pitch.
And on his favourite pitch, as Kaysler is sacrificed to advanced Harris, bringing clean-up hitter for the Eagles, Sophie Hoyle, Carly Allen, the runner in scoring position, batting specialist, and then Trzynski and backside to follow.
Yes, there's some power there. It's getting late in the game, though. It'll be very hot out there playing today, running bases.
Yes.
And fielding balls, chasing them in the outfield.
Well, Harris is going to be used to it because she's going to be doing it at the Gillies, as is Ladner, who is pitching to Sophie Hoyle. Challenging her high with a fast rising ball. Tonkin comes in and checks on Harris, making sure that she stays nice and close. 1 out, runner at 2, Hoyle at the plate, Eagles 1, Falcon 0, top of the 6th.
Been a great go, hasn't it? Great go.
Yeah, 1 and 3, this is what you'd expect. Two teams, as I said.
Trying conditions.
Yeah. Sturt will feel, 5 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses for the year, but when you're considering they're third and they've got the second best offense, the second best defense, and Bell White's played less than half the games of the year, they're doing very well as Coach Adams is bringing forward the youth. Hoyle takes another pitch. I can guarantee you anything that's middle to inside, Sophie Hoyle will not leave under any circumstances after her last couple of at-bats. Ladner goes low and inside. Hoyle this time rolls the dice and takes the walk that she gets, bringing Carly Allen to the plate, who, as we've said before, is about a 130-point batter with runners in scoring position. Here we are, 1 out.
First base on balls with Chantel.
Yeah.
And Sarah.
Coach Adamson now comes out to the mound, and she's followed by Sturt Falcons young gun, Ruby Fidge, as Ladner, as day is done. I was about to say to the thunderous applause of the clouds for a job well done. So Ruby Fidge, in the shadow of Big Sister Millie, has done a great job for the Falcons this year. So the team ERA is 3.35, 22 runs earned off of 29. But Ruby's leading the way with an ERA of 2.78. So she's had 18 Ks, and of the 18 Ks, 7 of them have been standing. Her first pitch strike is around about 53%, which is about 15% less than what Ladner's is. So she's taking longer to get it done, but she's making the batters work harder for it. So 50% of the time when Sturt gives up a hit, it's an extra base. And that's, I think, the alarming fact which might have caused Coach Adams, considering the power that's about to come in the Eagles line. They've struggled to get one. Eagles trying to double that. Interesting run home. Sturt have got 3 more games before Christmas. They play West Torrens today. They play current Premier Port Adelaide in a week and a half's time before finishing off just before Christmas with West Torrens one more time. And then they return to play Port, Glenelg, Walkerville Hills, Glenelg, Port, Hills, Seacombe, Glenelg and Torrens. So 7 of the teams that they play will be outside the 4 on their run home. As Fidge, outside. The game has reached 3:30, but as we've started the innings, we've got to complete it. Allen takes another ball. I would suggest that if Carly does get on Lee, they will unleash some of the speed that's on the Eagles bench in need.
Yeah, you think so?
Allen again. She's gone over Colette,
Just
who's
poked it.
Colette's jumped in and then had to go back, but not before Allen has hit the ball to left field, hit the fence as the Eagles go on and score. Harris and Hoyle as Allen continues her run of runners in scoring position, and she just continues to light them up.
Look, Carly looked like she just poked at the ball, and
Yeah.
she had that much power, and Steph was well under it.
Well, you see Colette, I mean, she's traditionally an infielder, and she's done what we tell all the kids not to do, which is when you see the ball come off the bat, it's just to stay and hold your ground. And she's run in first, and then she's had to go back. That brings Kelsey Nucky to the plate. Allen, who's obviously reached second on the double, as she continues her RBI streak for the Eagles, as the Eagles go ahead 3-0.
So this is where I'd bring one of the young ones on there, just to give them a run out there. Let them have a run.
Yeah.
Not going to do any harm.
And as I said, 50% of the hits against the Falcons are extra bases, and there is further evidence. They're not giving up too many singles, but when they get hit, and it goes long. Trzynski on deck, 1 out. Fidge, another change up. Good off pace there as Nucky throws her hands on the outside and grounds it out. Shout out to softball legend, superstar, power hitter Marianne Crawford, just giving us a wave. Very kind of her. As Nucky swings over that, Fidge strikes right back with a strikeout.
The second half of the Brains Trust of the mental
Yes,
health round.
yeah, as you were mentioning before. So, yeah, no, she's a character. As Harris comes on for Allen as the 2-out runner, and Trzynski at the plate. So, Fidge has the question, Lee, do you pitch her out at 2 out and bring backside of the plate, or do you go after her with...
Oh, I wouldn't let her hit. I'd just pass her up.
Ball one, high.
She'll get something that's got a name on it, and it'll just go deep of the fence. Maybe one bounce.
Well,
now I'm predicting bounces. Okay. Well, let's see how we go.
yes, the Falcons' defense is, the outfit is all deep. Trzynski keen to go, but nothing in the zone at the moment as she takes 2.
Well, if she walks her, no harm done. She throws something up high, and it hits the fence on the full. There's another run. Good pitch.
Fidge mixing up her variety with pace and location well.
As you have to. If you're not going to blow them away, you're going to have to mix it up a lot.
Yeah, she doesn't have the obvious weapons that Millie does, obviously with Millie because of her height and her levers, but you can definitely see there's a lot of rotation on the ball. She's working hard. She's not as easy to get away.
Good pitch.
Oh, well done, Tash Straps.
Yeah.
As you could just see there, as the balls come off the end of the bat, Straps has figured it out real quick on the CMAX replay. You'll watch it here. When she realised that she couldn't take the catch clean and easy, she's actually pulled out and let the ball spin away from her. That's softball IQ of 200 there for Tash Straps. Trzynski, 2-2 on the count. And now the count is full, as Fidge has done a great job of taking the Eagles' power hitter all the way. As Trzynski grounds out to Neve Adams, who rockets the ball with her arm over to first. Far out, she's got a... is there anybody from the major leagues here scouting for that? My God. As well, we've seen a young Batgirl come out and...
On the Richard Coombe medal.
on the Richard Coombe medal.
It is presented to the best Sturt player on Sturt Club Day.
Right, got it.
So it's because we're not always playing West Torrens. So yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. And as Lee spoke before about the legend that he was. So the Falcons now find themselves in the bottom of the 6th with 3 outs up their sleeve to score 4 runs for the win, 3 for the draw. And here comes Marianne Crawford, the other co-founder of what Shelley's done today, as we welcome the superstar legend that is Marianne Crawford. Crawf, Sugar, how are we?
Good, mate. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Hot day. Have you played?
Oh, yep, just finished.
Just finished. No
Yep.
ice bath on the legs yet?
No, mate, I've got to fill a gap in A grade at 4.
Oh, well, it seems to be that I was just telling Shelley before that Kylie just bought a set of cleats over in Melbourne, so as a 50-year-old. So it, and Karen only hitting 400 plus in the Premier League.
Yeah, she's got to lift her game a bit, I reckon.
Oh, well,
yeah. We were just having a conversation this morning about the right side of the diamond today is going to be a combination of 97 years of age.
Yeah, and tally up those games. So
yeah, just don't.
yeah. I remember coming down to watch Crawf as a young player when she was at Southern District back in the day.
Oh, wow.
We used to come down to Diamond 1 just to watch her hit the ball over left field over the days. So that's a long time ago. And here we go now as Neve Adams, Sturt in the heart of their lineup. Number 2, she'll be leading off the Falcons, needing base runners as they're 3-0 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Steph Trzynski continuing her work. Adams challenged high. So we were talking before with Shelley, so obviously the two of you have come together and done a great job in raising awareness around a super important topic in mental health.
Oh, it's a very, very important topic, mental health, and we've got such a really good softball community down here. So, all it is just, looking out for your mates.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And no better environment as in team sport such as softball to be able to do that.
We are so lucky down here. We are, we get to play.
Trzynski fouls off the ball that's just come off the end of Adams's bat as she was well out in front as the Eagles get the very important lead off, bringing 500 games superstar Maddie Cameron to the plate as she looks to try and continue Sturt's fight back here. 1 out down. Eagles need 2 for the win. Falcons need 4 runs. Cameron looking to be the first. Outside. And you're right, it is a great community, and I mean, Shelley's done a great job today of explaining what we can do in making sure that we get out, but it's just, keeping an eye on each other and just checking in, and we all encourage you to do that today. Cameron, shoulder out, again, just like Adams before, it comes off the end of the bat, and just like that, Trzynski's got the first 2 as Coach Adams making a change as Straps comes out for the pitcher that we were talking before. Is it Stragland?
Yeah, looks like that.
Yeah. Who's been impressive when she's done some pitching.
Very good last week.
She's only been tasked here with the 2-out opportunity to come in and try and be a base runner for the Falcons with Ladner on deck. Yep. So Eagles 1 out away from another 3-0 win, considering they beat the Hills 3-0 against Kistner on Wednesday night, looking to extend their lead at the top of the ladder. Fastball inside as Trzynski goes ahead in the count. First warm game of the year, Crawf.
Oh, God.
I'm assuming I'll be seeing you in the bar later this afternoon.
Yeah, I'll be getting a roadie, that's for sure.
Stragland takes another ball hard as Trzynski's obviously got some theatre tickets as she's in a hurry to get out of here.
She's off to the concert.
And
nice pitch.
Breaking ball outside. Good mix. The veteran Carly Allen, who was responsible for the 2 runs scored by the Eagles last innings with her shot to left field over Collette at left. And Stragland chases up, fighting to keep the count alive. Speaking, Lee, are you still there?
Yes, it's just finding it hard to get a word in. I don't know why, but it just seems to be that case.
Well, there goes your customary cup of tea. And Kevin Tannebring calls it a day as a change up on the outside. Trzynski gets what she wants as the Eagles extend their league winning streak as they go to 9 wins, 2 draws, no losses, as they sit clear on top of the ladder as the Falcons pick up loss 4 in this game today. Lee, I didn't know that you and Shelley had organised, but you can come to us now with your CMAX Player of the Day.
Well, it's a toss-up between Amber Hood and Chantel Ladner.
Yeah, right. Well,
how'd you go?
Well, Shelley's just given us that signal, which I don't know what that means. I think that's maybe they co-share it. So Amber Hood, I think, was probably in a winning team. More influential. Carly Allen can't be underestimated, being involved in all of the runs that Eagles scored today. So, but it looks like Amber Hood will be our CMAX Player of the Day. Thank you to you, Shelley, for coming in today and doing what you did. Thank you, Craw, for coming in at the end there. Good luck for your game coming up.
Thanks.
Versus the Hills. We'll have to get you back on later on in the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Lee, what we expected, a tight game, 2 quality pitching, 2 quality hitting lineups. The Eagles just continue. Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks, Craw. The Eagles just too good.
They certainly were, but it was just exactly what we thought, wasn't it? After last Saturday's game between Sturt and Walkerville, which was a 0-0 game, we've got another beauty. Yes.
Yeah, it was a game worthy of the club round. So congratulations to Sturt for bringing the awareness, as we've been speaking about all day. So that'll be the end of us for the telecast. But if you're down here at the ground, get over to the Sturt Club tent and get yourself some goodies from them today. Coming up, for those that are staying to watch, it's going to be the Walkerville Cats versus the Hills Heat on Diamond 1 at 4 o'clock. And just heads up to what's coming up. Wednesday night, we've got Seacombe versus Port Adelaide here on Spacequake Sports. Lee, I'll see you then.
I was just going to congratulate our super producer, Brandon, because I put him under this heading. Wait for it. The talented technical titan of terrific transmission. How does that go?
Well, I'm glad you said that. I don't know if I could have done that, but thank you to you, Lee. Thank you to producer Brandon. Thank you for everybody watching today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you get out there and check on those friends and family and make sure that they're all doing okay, or look into the resources that have been mentioned throughout the telecast. We'll see you Wednesday night.